Hello and good afternoon, everybody. A very warm welcome to today's webinar. So we have a really exciting one planned today, and I know I probably say that every time, but genuinely this is one that we are really excited to show you guys. It is probably a feature that we have been asked to do for many years now, and we finally got there. So today we are launching our custom dashboards where you can fully customize your prospect CRM dashboards. I'm Abby, and I'm part of the customer success team here at ProspectSoft. And I'm happy to say today's webinar, I'm also joined by Tanya, who is our amazing business analyst and has completely designed and created this new feature. So she'll just be helping me in today's webinar and also give you a little bit of a sneak peek as to what we have planned for the rest of the feature. So, yeah, really exciting. So as usual, a little bit of an agenda. I'll quickly go through these slides. I'll do a demo and then we'll do the Q&A afterwards. So feel free to drop us questions throughout the webinar in the Q&A section below. These can be questions you have or any feedback. We're happy to answer anything and we'll just get to it all at the end. But for the demo kind of agenda, I'll be showing you how to build a new dashboard from scratch. So that will include how you add tiles, move, resize them, all of the kind of features we have around that. We'll also explain to you a little bit about the differences on personal dashboards versus team-wide overview dashboard, just to explain the differences, why you'd use one over the other, and then also go through all of the little features like how you can revert to default, roll back changes, how you discard one, all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, a demo kind of going through everything about this really cool feature. So the key takeaways for today is kind of, as I've already mentioned, explaining how you choose the right dashboard, what data you'd want to put on which dashboard, how you can then actually build your dashboard, so how you can add KPIs, how you can add tiles, choosing the right tiles as well, which is really important. Showing you a full comprehensive in-depth demo into each of the tiles we're currently offering, perhaps talking a little bit about ones we might be offering in the future, just so then it helps you when you're customizing your layout, you've got a full explanation of what there is to offer. So that's a little bit about key takeaways. It's really just explaining this new feature so you can have a play with it. So here we are. This is a demo of our brand new customizable CRM dashboards. So I'm just here on the overview dashboard. This is pretty normal to what it's always been. It might look a little bit different to some of you because we have had the amazing redesign as well. So we've got a nice new slick look at the CRM that everybody should have now, but the actual overview dashboard by default is still fundamentally the same. But with this brand new feature, we have the ability to edit it, which is this little button here in the top right corner. So if I go to edit it, suddenly you'll be able to manipulate the overview dashboard. So I'll quickly show you what it's like to edit the overview dashboard. And to quickly start with, the overview dashboard is visible to all of your users. You can configure the user roles for the dashboard. So however it's visible now, it will still be visible when you customize it. But the idea is that all of your users can see the overview dashboard. So generally, when you're wanting to add KPIs or charts that you want all of your company to see, you would edit the overview dashboard. So to edit this is the same way that you kind of create your own dashboard. So I'll just quickly show you what it's like on this one, but I will create my own dashboard from scratch in a minute, which I'll go into a little bit more detail on. So here I can delete things, I can move them around, I can add new tiles here. And so with the overview dashboard, this is just for you to be able to fully customize it. You can edit the tiles if you wanted to change the title of the tile or the KPI that's being used. You can do that with the overview dashboard. And it's important to note that for now, whilst I know this is a really cool feature, it's only possible to edit the overview dashboard. So if I was to go onto the account manager dashboard, you can't edit this one just yet, but Tanya might be speaking a little bit about that later on. So I'm going to now go from the beginning how you can create your own dashboard. So currently, the only dashboard you can create kind of from scratch, unless you want to completely take everything away from your overview dashboard, is personal dashboards. So this is a dashboard just for yourself. You can't currently share it, so it will be visible just for your user. And the idea is that it's got all of the KPIs on that you care about, all of the stuff you want to see at your fingertips. So I'm just going to leave this as being called my dashboard. And here is your empty dashboard. To edit it, you edit it in the same way that you would for the overview dashboard, and you click edit in the top right-hand corner here. And then it's kind of ready for you to completely customize. So to add things, you go to the top right-hand corner and select add. Now you'll notice we've got quite a few different options here. So the recent records, this is the same as what's already on the overview dashboard. It gives you a list of all of the recent records that you've accessed. So as a kind of quick access type of thing, you've also got the task list. So if I click the task list, this is the same as, again, what's already on the overview dashboard and what shows here. It's just you can have it on your personal dashboard as well. And you can move this around and change the size. So I'm actually going to make it a little bit longer and a little bit thinner. And I'm going to put it over here on my screen. And so you'll notice when I'm moving this around or kind of resizing it, you've got the gray background. So that's just to help you give an idea of where that's actually going to snap to on the screen, because we're kind of using a grid layout. If you can see, it's like an invisible grid behind it. So you can't really do a little bit. It's either that or that, if that makes sense. So it just gives you a little bit more guidance as to where your tiles are going to end up. So there we go. I've added the task list there and I'm really happy with that. So now I'm going to have a look at adding some KPIs. So I'm going to go and add a KPI group. So a KPI group is basically just a way of formatting your group, your KPIs. It's a way for you to kind of collect ones that are similar, and it just makes it look a little bit neat on the screen. So I'm going to create a KPI group called order stats. I'm going to add that, and I want to put it over here. And so this is literally just blank right now. And what you do is you then add KPIs to it. You don't have to put it in a group. I just think it looks a bit neater. I'll show you how to not add it into a group a little bit later, but just to give you a bit of variety. So if I go back there to add a KPI to this group, you kind of hover over it, and then you've got the plus symbol in the top right there. If we go and open that, you have two options. You've got KPIs and report tile. I'll start off by explaining KPIs. So a KPI in this section here is predefined by us. So these aren't editable. These are ones that we have identified as being kind of common KPIs that our customers are using, mainly working with our consultants who do a lot of custom dashboards, like Power BI dashboards for you guys. These are what we've identified as really common KPIs. We've done these as pre-calculated and defaulted just to make sure they're really quick, really easily accessible. You're not having to fiddle around with reports to try and get them. It's kind of just easy access there. So because this is all about orders, I'm going to add my order value. I have the option to do month to date or year to date. Here I'm going to choose year to date. And I'm actually going to change the title of this tile of order value. And then I'm just going to add year to date there, just so then it's really easy for me to know exactly what KPI and what data this is showing. I then have the option to show comparison here. So what that's going to do is show me my year-to-date order value and compare that to last year's year-to-date order value. So if I add this, I'll show you what I mean. So you can see I'm doing really well this year-to-date and compared to last year. So got the nice green arrow up. And I'm going to add a few more on here. So I'm also going to add quote value. I'm going to do that year to date as well. Yes, I'll add a comparison for that. And then let's add a few more on here, like invoice value, year to date. I will show comparison for that as well. And you'll notice because I've got three, there are like there's a scroll bar now. So you can either at this point expand your group, or actually what I'm going to do is keep it at the same and then move the tile over. So you can kind of fully customize it there. And I'm going to add one more, and I'm going to do, I've already done invoice quote. Let's do order count. And actually, I'm not going to do a comparison for this one. I'm just going to do year to date. I'm going to move that there, move these along. And actually, I kind of want them to be all in one nice box like that. So now I've got a neat little box essentially for them all. And I just think it looks a little bit tidier like that. But as I mentioned, you don't have to have your KPIs in a group. You can just have them on their own. So to have them on their own, I would go back to the add button and I would do KPIs and I would just do KPI tile. So for this instance, maybe I want average order value. Maybe I want that to be a nice big KPI. It's a pretty big one. I'm going to do show comparison, add that, and then it just adds the tile on its own as it was here. But if I move this under here, I can then expand it out. So generally the text and the actual KPI that it's displaying will be manipulated as you change size. But if you make it really, really big, then there's kind of like, it won't get progressively bigger. It will just stay to that. So you probably don't need to make it that big anyway. So let's make that a little bit smaller so then it fits nicely like that. And then I'm going to add another group for my KPIs because I want to do one that's a little bit more about forecasting. So I'm going to just add forecast. Add my group down here and go through the same process. So I want to add some more KPIs here. But in this instance, actually, when I go to the preset KPIs, I'm thinking, this isn't quite, none of them really are forecasting. I want one a little bit more about my open opportunities. These aren't quite working, but I do have a report that shows me exactly what data I want to see. So instead of going to the KPI tile, I'm actually going to add a report tile. So in case anybody was panicking, thinking, oh, there wasn't many defaults in the KPIs, this is kind of how you would completely, as a, flexibly choose what KPI is shown. So here in this example, I'm going to add, for example, let's choose a report first. If I choose the report, then I can choose the title. So I want to go to sales report, all open opportunities. That's a really good one. So I'm going to do OK to that. And I'm going to call it all open ops. And once you select the report that you know is showing kind of the data you really want to see, if it's got a field in there that we can summarize, so you might know in reports, you can kind of summarize and group your data. If there's a field that makes sense we can summarize, it will show in this drop down here. So for example, on opportunities, kind of optimistic, likely value, those kind of fields are a really good KPI. So in this instance, yeah, I want to see the certain value of all my open opportunities. So all of the filters on my open opportunities report is going to still stay in place, and the KPI that's shown is going to be what's on like generated from that report, if that makes sense. So if I just go ahead and add, you'll kind of see what I mean. So you'll see in all of my open opportunities right now, I've got £402 of realistic value. That's not too good, but I'm sure my team are working on that. And yeah, so that's kind of what gives you the flexibility of these customizable dashboards. To give you another example, if we go ahead and have a look at the sales reports, we've also got sales pipeline for this month. You might want that on there. Again, kind of optimistic value. So sales pipe this month. And there you go. You can kind of add that. That's looking like a much healthier number. And so, yeah, you can fully customize the KPIs that are shown. We just like to have those default ones to make it a little bit simpler if you're just kind of wanting the basics to be shown. And yeah, you can add all of those KPIs there. So the next one that I'm going to show you is if we go back up to add here, we're going to skip over to visuals. So This is our quick charts, and this is also where goals is going to be. Tanya is going to speak to you a little bit about goals later on. But if we go to quick charts, this gives you the option to add a bar chart or a line chart. So these are still predefined, so a little bit like the KPIs before. You can select either average order value or new customers. So for my bar chart, I'm going to select average order value. I'm going to add that in. And it's come down here because the tile kind of recommended size is a little bit bigger. It doesn't fit in here, but I'm actually going to shorten that a little bit there, make that a bit bigger. So it looks like that. And yeah, if I go ahead and add the line chart, I'm going to do that for my new customers and add that in as well, all the way down here. Now, you might notice that you can scroll, so you're not limited to just having kind of the size of your screen as the dashboard. You can actually make it kind of as long as you want in theory, I suppose. You probably wouldn't want to because you've got quite a lot to scroll. The idea of a dashboard is to say then all of your data is right there to be seen. But yeah, if you wanted to, you can make either the graph really, really big or just add so many KPIs that it kind of keeps expanding down. So yeah, those are the two charts that we offer. Not too many right now because, as Tanya will touch on a little bit later, we're looking to get more feedback from you guys as to what is important charts for you. How would you want this feature to be built out? So we're very much just kind of starting with what we think is good and then building off your feedback as always. So if I go back to the charts that we offer, I'm going to go to reports next. So reports is what you would probably see as what we've already had as customizable dashboards. Well, I wouldn't say as customizable dashboards, but in the past, if you've ever asked support, how can I add this to the dashboard? They've probably said, oh, well, you can just add the report as a dashboard as itself. So we've retained that feature. So if I want to add a report here, for example, I want to see perhaps all my open problems, I can add that on and it looks the same as before. So it just simply takes the report and adds it there for you to be seen. And you can click all these hyperlinks and it can be nice and easy access. And again, you can change the size, you can put this wherever you want. And then finally, the final really cool tile that we have for you is this web page one. So you might notice in the version of the CRM you have right now, this isn't visible. This is something we've introduced into version 140, so coming soon essentially. But what this does is it allows you to embed web pages to your dashboard. So very similar functionality to if you've got a Power BI dashboard and have embedded this into the CRM. Essentially, you just take a URL from, I'll say any website. I'll put an asterisk next to that and come back to it later, and we'll be able to display it. So in my example, I'm just going to use Wikipedia because it's easy. So if I add that and then scroll all the way down here, you can see that Wikipedia for the United Kingdom is displayed. And when I save this and make it into an actual dashboard, all of these links will be clickable and you can kind of interact with it. So this is going to be really great if you want to put your website on there, perhaps a key supplier website or anything that's got a URL, you could in theory put it in there. Now you'll notice I said any website with an asterisk. So this is done with iframe technology. Some websites don't actually allow their website to be put into an iframe. And so that's kind of out of our control. That's totally dependent on the website's hosting company. And if that is the case, then you'll just get a little icon here that just has like a little X on and it can't be displayed. Unfortunately, we can't do anything about that. That's totally down to whoever's hosting the website, but there are quite a few websites out there that you can then use. For example, like Power BI, this could work for, I believe. And so, yeah, that is all of the tiles that we offer currently by standard, and hopefully everybody's pretty impressed and happy with the feature that the amazing Tanya has created. So a little bit quickly on kind of how you then save it. So you got the save button up here. I would click save. And then if you ever wanted to edit this, again, you would just click edit in the top right hand corner. You can then edit any of the tiles. You can change them a little bit. You've also got the three-dot menu in the top right. That's where you would rename your dashboard or delete your dashboard. And if this was the overview dashboard, you've also got the option to reset to default. So that'll reset to the overview dashboard that we provided and created originally. And yeah, you can always add more tiles, but if I actually go cancel, discard, let's have a look at what the dashboard then looks like. So it works in a very similar way to the dashboards we've already got. So you can kind of use the charts like this, and you can scroll up and down. You can still interact with your task list and go to the records that it's linked to. If we also then scroll down, you can still interact with this chart the same, and the same with this report. You can kind of click around and navigate to places. And then if we scroll down again to Wikipedia, you'll be able to see all of these are clickable. So if I go to Ireland, it'll take you to Ireland, and it'll all stay within that iframe essentially. So yeah, that is how you create your very own personal dashboard from scratch. Hopefully the dashboards you guys create might be a little bit more aesthetic than mine. You can't do anything like changing the theme currently. That might be something we would love to kind of get feedback on, kind of add branding and things like that. So this is very much what we've done so far. We would love to get more feedback from you guys. So either leave feedback down below, but I also think Tanya is going to be explaining a little bit how you can leave feedback later. So yeah, that is how you create your very own personal dashboard, and that's also how you can edit the overview dashboard, which is visible to everyone. So I think I've covered everything off. I'm sure Tanya might uh, pop in if I've forgotten anything. I don't think so. So we will go back to our slides for Tanya to then talk through the rest of the bits. There we go. Over to you, Tanya.
Thank you, Abby. Honestly, your presentation was so good. Your demo was so insightful that I
Thank
don't
you.
even know why I bothered creating these slides. It's really good. Thank you so much for presenting the functionality. Uh, I I won't spend too much time because Abby showed you already everything that you can add on the dashboard and so on. I just want to quickly iterate over the available tiles that we have so that you know what is actually your complete toolkit. So as Abby mentioned, we have the core data tiles. Like this is like the tiles that we had before for the overview dashboard, the ones that you couldn't configure, let's say. And you had the recent records on there, you had the task list, you had the full report. So obviously with the recent records and the task list, you basically want to stay on top of like your day-to-day work, like the things you have to interact with most often, like your priorities and so on. And the full report was still available basically as a core data tile because you could configure a dashboard and basically create it separately as a full report size. Now, what we've added on top of this is the analytics and the insights. So with the analytics and insights, what I mean is the KPIs, all of these pre-calculated default metrics that you can use in order to add more value, like more significant, like insightful data about your CRM data. So as you've seen, you have the order value, you have the invoice value, we have data on ledgers, like growing ledgers, shrinking ledgers, all that sorts of things, which we have pre-calculated for you based on what our projects team has recommended or of what they have built in the past for some of our customers and so on. But this is obviously for now not too flexible because we have pre-built these values. You can obviously decide if you want to see the previous value or not, if you want to see it month to date or year to date. But if you want to take it a step further and like almost like get the insights, like create your own summary data tiles and get all the good stuff that you can build within a report, we offer the ability to create report tiles. So you start from a report, you filter the data as you want, you create summaries and groupings, and you create like you have such flexibility with the reports. And then the data that you have in the summary section of the report, you can then add it to different clusters, to different tiles, depends on what you want to do with this. So that's basically taking a step further all of the predefined functionality that you'd usually use. And we have the quick charts. We currently only support bar charts and line charts, but we're interested in seeing what you would like to use in the future. What other types of charts you would expect to have? If you'd like to have more pie charts, if you'd like to have donut-like charts, or any comparison, like as you've seen, we can show data with in comparison to previous years. We can try to do some forecasting with these charts as well. And maybe one day, why not convert some of these charts, like some of the reports, into actual charts? We'll see exactly how that goes. But yeah, if you have different trends that you'd like to follow or monitor within the CRM on your customizable dashboards, please let us know. I'm going to mention again on the next slide how. And yeah, last but not least, we have organization tools and external components. And with these organization tools, we mean the KPI groups, the ones that you can build in order to cluster all of the information that's relevant for, let's say, a specific purpose. Maybe you want to track all of your orders. Maybe you want to track all of your problems with different metrics and different KPIs. So you can create as many clusters as you want with this data. You can group them, change these metrics whenever you feel like it. And on top of that, with the groups and everything, you can also have external web pages embedded. So if you have any other Power BI reports or anything that you want to use, you can also embed those into the CRM. Obviously, as Abby said, there is a limitation that doesn't necessarily depend on us. Basically, we can embed into the CRM anything that can be supported into an iframe. So these are the tools. And then this is our timeline and what we're planning to do with these features next and where we want to take it and so on. But for now, let's say that this is phase one. So this is the MVP. This is just the minimum viable product. I didn't want to hold on to this feature too much before making it perfect or anything. I just wanted to get something released so that you can start playing with the feature, so that you can come back with feedback, with suggestions, other metrics, other KPIs, and so on. So in this phase, which is just phase one, you have the overview dashboard, which is now editable. Only the admin can edit this dashboard. And obviously, if you don't make any changes, it's going to be shared with the entire workspace, so all the users can see this. However, if you want to configure it and only share this dashboard with specific users, you can do so as you could have done until like this version. And we also have the personal dashboards. So this is basically a step up, because now these dashboards are private. You can create as many dashboards as you want. And this happens regardless of the role or the system permissions that you have or anything. So even non-admin people can create their own preferred dashboards and track whatever data they're most interested in seeing, like day to day, the stuff that they really want to keep an eye on and so on. So this is phase one. What we're currently working on, refining and discussing is a phase two, in which with the customizable dashboards, what we want to do with them next is allowing the admins to create this so-called shared dashboards. So they can build some dashboards for scratch. This is outside of the overview dashboard. You start from scratch, you build a new dashboard, you can add whatever data you want with it, and you share it with specific users. If you want to share it again with the entire organization, the entire workspace, that's perfectly fine. You can have the overview dashboard for some data, you can have a shared dashboard for some other interesting, cool insights. But at the same time, if you want to restrict it to just a few of the users, maybe your team leaders, maybe just your sales reps or account managers, you will be able to do so by having this concept of shared dashboard. What we want to do on top of that, we know our goals functionality right now is maybe not the strongest or not the most flexible. So we're currently working on enhancing the goals feature that we have by enabling our users to create goals for multiple users at the same time, for multiple customers, and also for the operating company. And it can also be multiple operating companies if that's how your business operates and so on. But yeah, it's going to be a lot more flexible. We're going to have frequencies for these goals. They can be monthly, like half yearly, quarterly goals, and so on. So it's going to offer a lot of flexibility, and you can just create, let's say, 10 goals at the same time if you want for 10 different users, and you just can customize them in different tables. I really can't wait for this feature to be live, because our intention is to connect it to the dashboards. So what is going to happen, we want to seamlessly embed this goal tracking functionality into the customizable dashboards so that people, for example, if I, as a salesperson, I have some goals assigned against myself, like this is my goals for this quarter. If my team leader create some goals for me, I can add my goals to my personal dashboard, to whichever dashboard I want that's my own, that I have created for myself. I can track those however I want to. Obviously, it's going to be just my data because the goals feature will still be heavily admin related. Like the admins have to go in and create those goals. Not everyone can just play with that feature, but everyone should be able to track their goals, right? So if there is anything assigned to them, they should be able to monitor it like really easily. Obviously, if admins consider that it's appropriate to add the goals on the overview dashboard or on a shared dashboard that we're going to have and share it with the entire workspace, that's perfectly fine. That's a decision that should be made business by business, however people prefer to work with this. And in this second phase, we also want to get feedback from you. So this should be a customer driven feature. We want to do as best as we can to satisfy the needs of most of our customers. So we need you to share your feedback with us, to tell us what additional KPIs you'd like to see, to tell us what additional charts, what types of charts. Obviously, with the goals, you can imagine those are going to be some progress charts, almost like donut charts. But like if you have anything else in mind that you'd like to see on the dashboards, if there's any other types of data that you'd like to track with these charts and so on, you have to let us know. We have the new ideas portal, which I encourage you to use in order to like submit these ideas. But I will also ask our marketing team when they send out the recording from this webinar to also add in the link for the portal so that you can have it on hand really easily. So based on this demo, based on you playing around with the feature, if you have any suggestions, please let me know. Because for future considerations, and this is going to be the first thing we're going to start working on after phase two is completed, will be to start working and actioning on your feedback. So we want to expand the metrics and the visualizations based on what you have suggested and requested. And also, um, it's an idea I have right now. It's something that I have to do some more research around, but something that I think most of our customers will benefit from, which is a CRM-wide functionality based on themes. So we want to introduce the concept of themes. We want admins to be able to organize users in different types of groups, not necessarily based on their roles, maybe on their responsibilities as well. Maybe there's going to be people part of two different teams at the same time. So based on how many users you have in the CRM, how much knowledge and how technical these users are, you might want to create different teams for different users. Obviously, it's going to work very well with the customizable dashboards, but not just those, like maybe with the reports as well, maybe with the marketing functionality that we have in the CRM and so on. So this is something that we're going to start researching. And like, if you have any feedback on this side and you'd like to see teams around different areas of the CRM, please let me know. But yeah, most importantly, I need feedback on the customizable dashboards because that's what I have in mind right now, and I want to make this as flexible as possible. Thanks.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Tanya. It's definitely a lot more fun doing these webinars when we can also share all of the amazing ideas that we've got coming up. I think, yeah, hopefully everybody agrees that this is a really exciting time. So on to the Q&A part now. Some of you guys have already been asking questions, so Tanya and I will just go through these one by one and answer them. So the first question comes in is this system at all loosely based on the Dynamics 365 program? Tanya, do you know the answer to that one? I'm not sure.
So if we're talking about the CRM itself, no, the CRM is not. Dynamics 365 is basically the CRM Microsoft is offering.
Mm,
Dynamics 365 is a suite that has both ERP and CRM
I
features, let's
see.
say, like different modules that include sales and marketing and customer services and so on. We could say that our CRM has different areas covering obviously sales with the codes and sales orders and everything that we do around that area. We have customer service through our problems and like ticketing variety in the CRM and so on. But no, I would not say that it's based on Dynamics 365. And obviously the feature we just presented is probably like not related in
Mm,
that sort of way. It's based on the feedback we received from customers and like what made the most sense for an MVP feature.
great. So the next question is, could I, as the admin, create personal dashboards for my users? So no, currently personal dashboards you can only create yourself and they'll only be seen by your user. I think, Tanya, though, that might be kind of tying into the idea of admins creating dashboards to
Yeah,
then be shared. So I would
that is
say,
phase two.
Adrian, yeah, that is coming, just not quite yet. Awesome. So we have a question, is dark mode a potential feature that will be added as an improvement for those with visual restrictions? Another big one that I think quite a lot of
Yes.
customers ask for. I'd say currently there are quite a lot of good tools out there that turn your browser into dark mode and turn all of your web pages into dark mode. Obviously the CRM, like that would apply to the CRM as well. Having a CRM dedicated dark mode, I don't know. Tanya, what do you think?
Um, I can't exactly tell you just yet why we have done the whole redesign and what's coming soon, because obviously you all seen that we've made some space at the top of the CRM for some like really new, like cool functionality coming soon. But as part of that, we're also considering the potential idea of having a dark mode CRM, just because with the whole redesign, we're trying to stick around a bit more with the accessibility, like requirements and everything. So that's a potential improvement that we are going to have in the future.
Very diplomatic. Well done, Tanya.
Thank you.
Okay, great one. This is great. Thank you. I think so too. I think this is an amazing feature. Can you have it so it shows your individual open opportunities, or is it company wide? So I presume here you're referring to when I added onto my dashboard, the this one, when I added the forecast for all the open opportunities. I presume that's what you're referring to here. So if I just go back to explain and expand on this a little bit more, when you select the report tile, this actually gives you access to all of your reports. So if, for example, you had a report that shows you just your open opportunities. So if you made an opportunities report, filtered it by yourself, click save that as all opportunities for yourself, then that report will show in this list for you to then be able to select. So the answer to your question is yes. And if I wasn't clear enough, yeah, these are not just reports that we have created. These aren't just standard CRM reports. These also includes all of the custom ones that you guys create. So long as it has a summarizable field slash data within it, it will come up. And if it doesn't, I think it just comes up to say, yeah, sorry, no matching options, at which point you'd probably review the report you're using and manipulate that to actually create data that can be summarized. So yeah, the answer to your question is yes, you can make it so it's just your individual opportunities. Okay. In terms of charts, orders received value by month for the current year would be amazing for us. Great feedback. Thank you very
Yeah.
much, Nina. Tanya will be scribbling that down, I'm sure, and add it to our list of charts that we should be creating. So thank you very much for that feedback.
Thank you. Yeah, it's
So
really good to get your feedback. Like as I mentioned, please send it my way. Some of you already have my email address. Maybe we'll add it to the link that we're sending, like the
mhm,
recording,
yep.
the link for the ideas portal and my email address. But like, feel free to just use the ideas portal. I will be reviewing those
Yeah.
ideas. Like I really am on top of that and like trying
And
to get this.
you can contact anybody. So contact your CSM, contact the support team. Any feedback given will make its way back to Tanya. So we don't have any more open questions right now, but Tanya and I will stick around for a couple minutes longer in case you guys have any more questions. These can be about specifically the dashboard or anything broader. So feel free to go ahead and ask any more questions. Otherwise, that is the end of our webinar today. And I'd just like to say thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. I hope you're enjoying your summer, and I'm sure we'll catch you on the next one very soon. Yeah. Have a wonderful afternoon, guys. Tanya and I will stick around for another couple more minutes, but that's the end of the webinar for now. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a nice day.
When is this release coming? So this should already be released, I believe, Tanya. It was in version
Yeah.
139, which I believe all of our customers are on currently. So you might be asking that because I mentioned that the web page is in 140. That is coming within the next week or two, I believe, but everybody should already be on the version where this is available. If you don't see it or you're a bit unsure, just contact our support team on the online chat, which can be accessed via help and then chat with us. If you just ask our amazing support team, they'll be able to point you in the right direction. But this feature was released at the same time as our UI redesign. So if your CRM looks like mine, then you will have this feature. And you can just get there by using the dashboard drop down. You should see personal dashboard. And on the overview dashboard, you should see edit. Yep, this is all released live. So any problems, do let us know.